Chapter 2. Lenny tromped through the door.
I only have 2 tonight.
He grumbled, holding the door open for the 2 couples. No drink special? I asked, finding it odd that Lenny couldn't round up more.
Tons of specials all over the strip.
He said, ushering the couples to the waiting area.
I think it's those damn fairy yahoos. They've been encroaching on my turf for weeks now.
Dorothy minus Toto peeked in the front.
Where are all the couples?
I was just telling Nadia I think Fairy Tale Chapel is stealing my haul.
Dorothy thought a moment.
Nadia, get these 2 couples set up and then swing by the Fairy Tale Chapel with Lenny. We've been losing customers left and right.
Frankie, I should stay here. There could be walk-in customers, I urged, hoping I didn't have to endure a confined space with Lenny.
There haven't been walk-in customers for days. Investigate for me.
But...
No buts.
He clicked his glittery red shoes together 3 times and returned to the chapel. I withheld an eye roll. It nearly killed me. Lenny, give me 10 minutes. I helped the couples as quickly and efficiently as possible, even though one woman kept snickering and writing Tin Man instead of her name. I ushered the first couple to the aisle and turned on the music. My eyes caught on Vivian and Bernie, who were dressed as poppies and swaying to Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
Let's go.
Lenny tugged on my arm.
I'm losing commission by the second.
We hopped onto the old school bus Lenny used as the chapel's shuttle. Perhaps you're losing customers because this bus is really ugly.
Everyone loves this bus.
Lenny preened, flipping on the interior party lights. Neon lights streaked the ceiling. A disco ball whirled in the rear corner, twirling spots of light. The music thumped through the bus, vibrating the seats. Lenny, turn it down, I shouted over the music.
This is how I bait them.
He gave his bare-breasted hula dancer a flick and revved the clunky engine. I sat in front with fingers stuck into my ears. Thankfully, Fairy Tale Chapel wasn't too far away, 2 miles at the most.
I'm telling you, this reeks of Prince Charming. I'm sure he's leading an assault on the entire chapel industry.
I think you're being dramatic.
Not so. I think he's mapped my route and is picking up couples before I get there.
Change your route.
My route is gold. I've spent years developing it. I'll be damned if he's going to steal it from me.
All good things must come to an end.
Just keep an eye out for their bus.
What does it look like?
Like a lumpy, over-glittered pumpkin.
I kept my eye on the road and walkways until Lenny pulled alongside the Fairy Tale Chapel. Costumed workers dressed as fairies fluttered and played between beams of light. The Fairy Tale Chapel castle was on the small side as far as castles go, but was complete with drawbridge and moat. Flags waved on each of the 4 turrets. The pumpkin bus is in the parking lot, I said. They aren't stealing your customers.
Look in the front window. They're packed solid. They already finished their route. My route.
Prince Charming stepped from the drawbridge. A smile slipped into place as he eyed our idling bus. Lenny wrenched open the bus door and stepped out.
Gentlemen do not spy on their competition,
Prince Charming stated. His eyes raked over the bus. Disgust wrinkled his otherwise handsome features. He really does look like Prince Charming, I noted. Lenny shot me the same look of disgust.
He's wearing makeup and tights. He even has white girly gloves.
I don't judge.
What ails you? We're up to our coffers in marital bliss.
I came to warn you, stop using my route or I'll have to.
Have to what?
Charming's groomed brow arched.
Certainly you can't imagine your rundown chapel can rival ours.
Charming flicked an imaginary speck off his crisp white tunic.
It's better. We don't have lame fairies and a stupid prince.
No, 'tis true, you have Frankie.
Charming gave a sad nod.
He's infinitely worse. And his staff is...
Charming's eyes traveled over Lenny and stopped quite low.
lacking.
I cringed. Lenny's face exploded in crimson.
Take that back.
Charming smirked.
I can't take back what is true.
Then it's a challenge?
A challenge would require a worthy opponent.
He chuckled. Unfortunately, I chuckled too. His eyes sought to find the voice.
A beautiful maiden in this wastrel's carriage.
Lenny turned to see the beautiful maiden. When it was only me in sight, he snorted.
That's just Nadia.
The beauty has a name. Nadia. Such a name tastes of sweetness on my lips.
It was my turn to snort at such a display. No wonder the goofball gets so many women to flock to the chapel. If I was drunk and in need of beautiful words, albeit sappy ones, I'd come here rather than all celebrities.
Thy fair maiden has a honeyed laugh. 'Tis music to my ear.
That's it.
Lenny poked Charming's nose.
Challenge accepted.
Charming sighed and slowly, finger by finger, pulled off his glove, slapping Lenny smartly across the face with it. Lenny sputtered. Giggles spilled. I couldn't control them. Lenny was so wound up he couldn't see how ridiculous this was.
Name your second.
Charming demanded.
Frankie.
Then the challenge begins. By the new moon, we shall see who has had the most couples grace their chapel.
Beginning tomorrow.
Lenny scowled.
You already stole my customers tonight.
He bowed his assent.
It wouldn't be fair otherwise.
What are the stakes?
Lenny asked.
Other than bragging rights?
Lenny gave a tight nod.
May I suggest a prime billboard of the winner's choosing?
A billboard?
Charming smiled, white teeth flashing.
Bragging rights in its most glorious and monumental form, total humiliation for you and your master.
Lenny grunted.
Deal, and stay off my route.
'Tis a public road well traveled.
Charming stepped back.
Now vacate my land, or the fairies shall be upon you.
Lenny snorted.
What can they do? Sprinkle fairy dust on me?
He scoffed and batted his hands like diminutive fairy wings.
Fairies, do your worst.
Charming called, growing bored of Lenny. He turned and stepped to the front door while fairies surrounded the bus. Lenny? I eyed the fairies that, upon closer inspection, they looked like feral gnomes. And even though they were wearing tights and wings, it did nothing to soften their appearance. Perhaps that's why they darted between the light beams and not directly in them. I think we should leave. Now, right now. Lenny bolted into the bus as they closed in. He slammed the door shut and stepped on the pedal, chugging down the road before the fairies ambushed. Lenny, you know this is crazy, right? You're competing with Fairy Tale Chapel. Even on our best nights, we still can't win.
I've got a plan. Frankie said he'll install a soda machine on the bus. I'll rig cheap boxed wine into the carbonation system to make sparkling wine. Girls love sparkling wine. Tickles their nose and stuff.
Lenny scratched his round belly.
What the hell is a new moon?
I peeked at the 2 cards placed in front of me. King and 2. I really need a vacation. I can't even think how to play this hand. I sighed and tossed the hand to the dealer.
Sighing is a tell.
Roy said. I smiled up at him. How did you find me?
Word gets around, especially if Gloria's yapping. Why are you playing at this dive?
It's not a dive. The backlash is so retro, it's trendy.
Let me buy you a drink and we can talk. You're throwing your money away.
I gathered my belongings and followed Roy to the nearest bar. When we were settled and drinks were 2/3 gone, Roy said,
Spill it.
There's nothing to spill.
Then why aren't you playing at Lost City?
Grayson banned me from Lost City. I twirled the straw in my drink. Roy downed the rest of his and signaled for another, forging strength to talk what was ultimately girl talk. I detected a small shudder.
So, you two had a falling out? That crap happens all the time. Why did he toss you out?
Because I forced my way in to see him. Remember Fiona from that horrible party Maya threw?
The Nadia revival party?
Roy smirked and nodded.
Yeah, she was quite a little number. You didn't go green-eyed monster jealous, did you?
My eye twitched. A little, but it had to do with Daegor. I told him the story of Sergio's family and Daegor's involvement. By the time I finished retelling Daegor's death, we were on our 3rd round of drinks. Roy looked as if he wanted a car to flatten him as well.
So now you can't return to Lost City.
he summed up. Right.
But once he knows what happened, I'm sure he'll let you back in. It's not the same without you. I'm actually losing money.
He chuckled when I shot him a narrow glance. I shrugged. He might have, but I went and did something completely stupid. Roy sighed into his drink.
Lay it on me.
I married his brother. I didn't mean to. I just woke up and... I pulled out the pink plastic vending machine ring from my pocket.
Shit.
I'm pretty sure I said the same thing.
Since you have the ring, I'm assuming you haven't annulled it yet.
I shook my head. I was waiting for Ian to return. He's in Africa.
Have you heard from him?
I have a pile of postcards, but most of them don't have messages. Roy scratched his head. A tuft of thinning hair stuck out from the disturbance. Something across the room caught his attention. I followed the direction of his eyes and froze. Grayson. What's he doing here? I asked, willing my stalled heart to beat again. Roy shook his head.
I don't know, but she's here too.
I watched as they walked through the lobby. Is no place safe from him? I thought for sure he only stayed on the strip.
I guess you were wrong.
We watched as suits from the Backlash met Grayson and Fiona in the lobby. Several handshakes and smiles later, they headed toward the back offices. My eyes trailed their progression, never losing sight of Grayson and his exquisitely tailored suit. Cut to perfection. My mouth dried. Damn him. Why would he need to meet with the executives here? I had an inkling, so I flagged the bartender. Did Backlash get bought out? I asked.
It's still on the down low,
He said with a nod.
Do you need a refill?
Roy winced as my eyes narrowed and my knuckles turned white from strangling the glass.
I think we'll just need the bill.
He said. My safe place. Gone. Desperation for a vacation grew stronger. Dangerously strong.
Just the person I was looking for.
Frankie called. Where are you? I asked, scanning the chapel to locate him in the mass of fabric and stuffing.
I'm up here.
Frankie teetered on a ladder, attempting to hoist the balloon. You're going to kill yourself.
I nearly did 3 times already. Can you raise the balloon so I can hook it?
I gathered the fabric and lifted what I could. Why don't you have Lenny help you?
He's busy getting the soda machine operational.
Do you think you'll win the challenge? Frankie scowled at the fabric.
Of course we'll win. I checked the calendar. The new moon is in 10 days. It gives us this weekend and next weekend to bust ass. You'll need to put in extra hours.
I was hoping for a vacation.
Take a vacation later. It'll give you time to pack and plan. We can still go on the LA vacation.
That would work. I can take on extra hours. I've been somewhat stale at the tables. Will you help me find a different casino? Frankie looped fabric on a hook and glanced down.
It took us forever to find Backlash.
He held up his hand to tick off the reasons on his fingers.
It's not owned by Rotunda. It's off the strip. And it's fairly clean and safe.
Grayson just bought it. Frankie hissed a low breath.
Damn. He's going to be even richer.
I need money, and fast. I have to get out of here. I'm losing my mind. Everywhere I go is a reminder of Grayson.
I have the perfect solution, but you're too chicken.
You mean the fight? I eyed him.
You saw the girl on the website. She's a lightweight.
Frankie climbed down the ladder and marveled at his balloon that spread across the ceiling, giving the viewer a 3-dimensional impression of a balloon in flight.
Help me spread the stuffing so it looks like we're floating in the air.
I broke open a bag. Do you think I could win?
You don't have to win. Just stay down and they'll pay you $5,000.
I don't want any more black eyes. I tossed white fluff.
We'll practice. Like when actors pretend to get hit. They don't actually get hit, but it looks like it.
I was desperate. It couldn't be any worse than the other gigs he'd signed me up for. I guess we could practice. Frankie tossed fluff into the air in celebration.
We'll be on a beach in 11 days.
When's the fight?
Tomorrow night. They're desperate to find a replacement. One boxer bowed out. Maybe her arm was broken. I can't remember.
Tomorrow night. And they haven't been able to fill the spot with a real boxer? My Frankie alarm blared.
It helps to know important people. I told them not to worry because I have the perfect boxer. I'll fix up my black silk robe for you. It already has a dragon on the back. We'll call you Lady Dragon. Or Dragonette. Oh, how about the Dragon Slayer?
You told them I'd fight before I agreed?
You were going to agree eventually. In fact, you just did. A gig like this is too good to pass up.
Anger flicked and burned. I stomped to the staircase with a growl before my reactive fists could flatten Frankie.
We should practice soon.
Frankie called to my retreating back.